My name is Shankar and I am today going to teach you how you can make your first serverless website by using Catalyst. So let us begin. Let us begin with the end. So this is the website that you will be ending up making. So in this website, if you look at it, there are three portions which I want you to focus. The first is the top portion where you have this be cool as a cat image. That is, these images will change whenever you reload the website. The second is getting the weather details part. So here, if you enter any country, not a country, a city, let us say London, it will get you the current temperature in that city. Do note that there is a delay in getting response back. This is a classic response or behavior of any serverless computing environment because we make a what you call as a cold start. The system takes time to, in a way of speaking, booting, and hence the very first interaction it gets, it takes some amount of time to get a response back. But the subsequent responses, let us say it's Mumbai, it'll be almost instantaneous, right? And the third part I want you to focus on is this, the news part. Here, if I click on this image, I find the news, the latest news of the world from some specific website. In all the three areas of the website, that is the top part, the cat images part, getting the weather details part, and getting the world news part, I have used third-party APIs. Alright, so this is what we are going to make. The website is not so great. I'm typically a developer. I have not worked much on the front end, but I hope it conveys the message that you can actually build your own serverless website in contrast to what typically people are used to. So when you talk about a website, typically we talk about a CMS system, right? But here I'm not going to use CMS system. I'm going to use Catalyst and use Node.js in Catalyst to develop this site. And let us start making the serverless website. But before that, I wanted you to have a look at what is actually Catalyst. So Zoho Catalyst is Zoho's offering for making a serverless computing environment available to you all. So you can develop your own applications using Zoho servers, and we are supporting two different languages as of now. We are supporting Java and Node.js. So you could learn a lot more about Catalyst by going through this website, zoho.com/catalyst, and I will also be covering all the features in my subsequent recordings, and you could refer to them to make those applications on your own, and you'll be very happy to see what all you have built. So as part of these sessions, I will be also sharing the source code. There will be some information which I would be definitely hiding, for example, the passwords to some third-party sites because I need to fetch data from there, or connecting to some, let us say, a Google server for, let us say, a voice-to-text translation or something like that. So all those access credentials will be hidden. Otherwise, pretty much the code is going to be made available. So when you think of this website, what all do you actually need to make it? So I have made a list. So the things you would need is to have a client, right? You need to have images, CSS, the JS. All right, so we need a client information. So we need information to make this site look good. We need information to have the colors in the various sections of the page. So we need the CSS, and we need the interactions to be made more dynamic. So we use some amount of JavaScript. So pretty much the client side stuff. Now we also need a server side, right? Because when we interact with the client, a call goes to the server, a set of calls go to the server. So there is some code on the server which has to be processed. So we need a client, we need a server. And let us see how we can go about building it on Catalyst. So let us begin making this application in Catalyst. Now, I presume that you already have an account in Zoho. So if not, go to zoho.com and just sign up for an account. And once you do sign up for an account here, a free sign up, come back to accounts.zoho.com. Right, so now I'm going to enter my details, for logging in, and then I will start showing you how to go about making an application, a serverless application. So once I am in, I connect to catalyst.zoho.com and I go and create a project. So let us say I make it as my new website, right, or my first website. I think that will be much better. I accept the terms and conditions and I create. So I created my first website. Let us go and look how it looks like. So this is how Catalyst looks from within. I will be primarily focusing on the Applogic folder because I'm making an application. So in the previous recording, I had said that Catalyst gives you an opportunity to make a serverless website or applications, but actually Catalyst goes more beyond that. It can help you make your own functions which you can invoke from anywhere. It will have facilities like a cron, a cache, your data store, your access control, then you have listeners, then you have a file store where you can actually dump data, and then you have security rules saying like what can or cannot be done. So you have all these facilities. Not just that, we are also exposing some of Zoho's artificial intelligence facilities as well. From Zia, for example, here you can, as you can see, you can do two things. One is the optical character recognition part, wherein you give an image and it gives information about it, and then is the object recognition part. So you specify an image, or you given an image, it will tell you details of the image that you have provided. So these are by default exposed by Catalyst. But coming back to the chase, this is what we are going to be focusing on. What we have done till now is just created a Zoho account, logged into it, gone to catalyst.zoho.com, and then we see this UI. And in this UI, we have created a project called My First Website, and that's it. Right? We have not created any client folder. We have not created any server folder, because these things have to be done from the console. All right, so let us go to the console for doing the same, and let us start beginning this. So as you can see, I have created a folder here by the name Serverless Website, and I'll just remove that file. And the first thing you need to do is to install the Z Catalyst-CLI package. I'm going to code in Node.js, so you will get more about the package installations procedures here. All you need to do is zoho.com, or just say Z Catalyst CLI Zoho. So this is going to give you the details about how to go about doing it. So this is the help page, and this is the command you need to execute. So npm install -g Z Catalyst-CLI. Let us do that. So you see this. So it installs hopefully successfully, and let me walk you through it once it installs. Okay, so we have an issue, so I need to use my sudo permissions to do it, and gets installed, right? So now we have installed the Z Catalyst-CLI package in our system, and now we need to connect to our Catalyst account that we have created on the web. So I do Catalyst login. It will say I want to collect information for errors, say yes. And this is a shortcut actually. I had logged in to my Catalyst account and had kept the window open. So if you do the same, it will automatically pick up the login credentials from this, right? And all you need to do is say accept. So this establishes the connection between your laptop and Z Catalyst, and then you can actually close this UI. Right, so we have closed it, and let us see what happens now. So now I go and type Catalyst init initialization. If you remember, we had decided that we're going to have a client folder and a server folder alone for this, right? So we select, or rather use the arrow functions on the keyboard, use the space bar to select. I use the space to select this. I chose client and Applogic. Client is the client, Applogic is the server, and I say enter. Right. So now I choose which particular project I want to work with. We'll choose this one because this is what we had specifically named for this particular project, and I say enter again. And you can choose your default name, just keep saying enter and it will keep on doing the needful for you. Alright, that's it. And now your entire services are actually ready. Let us see. See, you have Applogic, Catalyst.json, and the client. Applogic is the server, and the client is the client, right? I mean, ignore the Catalyst.json file for now. It's not really required for us to bother about as of now. Let us look at how the Applogic folder looks like. The most important thing here is the package, the folder name, my_first_website. This is the path which I'll subsequently tell you you have to edit in your server-side files for processing, or rather in the client-side files to call the server-side files. So just keep in mind that the first folder inside an Applogic folder, this name and the way it is being written. So my website, my first website has to be my_first_website. This is the reference that you have to use on your client in order to make a call to the server. I will describe that little more details a little down in this session. So this is what we have, right? We have my first website. I get in here. These are all the files that you get to see in the server side. The most important of them is the index.js. So if you want to see what looks like, this is how it looks like. Right? It's a pretty small file, not much to do. It has a default set of instructions or code, and I will save you the horror of trying to, well, not really a horror if you're a developer, of typing in the code, because I'll give you the code, right? And I'll be using the code I had already used to make the website. So all you need to do is to collect the code that I have provided from here. So this is the URL. You just need to make a pull on the project here, and you will get the code. And you'll get the exact same structure. We have the Applogic, which will have the folder. In this particular case, when I made the code for the first time, the folder name was weather_serverless. But in this case, it's going to be my_first_website, right? There's the only change that you have. And remaining all remains the same. The code that I'm going to use is this, is available in this website. And the client code is also what you're seeing here is what I'm going to be using in this example. All right. So let us now go to the actual code. So here, this is the code, and I have pulled the code from this website here and just copy pasted in the structure which got created, right? I copy pasted in the Applogic file and then the client file. So that's pretty much it. There's no much of a difference. Keep in mind, I am referring to the code I have pulled from that website, right? So I'm going to copy this code from this structure to the new one. So let us first open the structure that I just now created. This is Catalyst, and then I need to go to the new website which I just now created, which is, where is it? Tutorials. And then tutorials, I have a folder called the Serverless website, right? So this is the website which I'm going to be using. So I'll just open a new workbench here so that we can keep the code differentiated. Many times I have messed up the code, so I just want to create a separate workbench. So what do? I go to my earlier website, the serverless website which I had created earlier here, and then I copy the code. So the most important code I need to copy is this index. I copy it from here, paste it in my index one here, right? I save this, then I go back, I copy, and I go to the client, right? I go to the client and I need to pretty much copy both. So all right, let's do this first. Let us go to the index.html. Let's copy this one, Control C. I go to this one, go to here, Control V. Alright, so we have got that. This is the most important file on the client side, the index.js, the main.js. I copy it from here and I paste it back here. Right, and then for some beautification tips, the CSS files, and I copy the CSS file back here and save it too. So we have got pretty much everything. Yes, there are a couple of things missing are the image folders. I'll probably just copy it from here. The image folder, copy, and I go back here to the client and just paste it. Nice paste here. Alright, and then I need to copy I have a couple of files here. Yes, this one. Nice, copy. Create a folder called CSS, and inside the CSS folder I paste this, and I copy this as well, and I paste this too here. Is it paste? Alright. Right, so we have got the entire structure that we wanted, and we can close this. So this is the code we're going to deal with. Right, this is the code that is going to be running to power your website. Alright, so we have to make some changes. Firstly, we have to make a change in the path. Let us search for okay, we need to first go to the client here. Alright, and search for /server. Oh, there you go. See this? This is the path of the sample code which I have published, right? But then, as I told you, this should be the name of the folder which has got created in the system. That is the folder in the Applogic folder. Alright, so this is, this one. So my underscore first underscore website. So I copy this and I go and change this here. Control V. Alright, and I go here. I start the server again. See this one? I go and change this too. Server again. I go and change here this too. And this is somewhere else here too. And here as well. I think that's pretty much all it is. Yes. Let's check once again, just to ensure that we don't made a mistake. Oh, there it is. Before we even start, we have a bug. Nice website. No, I think that's just fine. Alright. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I think we got everything done here. We can save this. Right. So now let me explain the client side code. That's most important. So this is what we have where pretty much the references to the CSS libraries, the jQueries, and so on and so forth on the top. And this is where we get to the cat screen, right? This is where you get the data for the cat, right? And see this weather and the world news part, which is same as we saw here. Weather and world news. So apologies for my client creation. My website skills are pretty limited, but I hope this is useful to you. Anyway, so this is what we have here, and this is where we start loading the other parts. So be cool as a cat, right? So be cool as a cat is this one, this part, and here I need to connect to a third party and get the information for the images, correct? So which is the code? So hold on to the code, but this is the be cool as a cat part, right? And then this is the weather details part, which is this part, and this is the top world news, the client, and which is this one, get Apple News or get world news. Apologies for the function name, but you get the point, right? So this is what is this. So now what really happens? What really happens is that when the page is loading, I think I have made an onload call. Yes. So when a page loads, I make a call to this get cat news stream method. This gets invoked via the main.js file, right? So let us search for get cat news stream. This is it, right? So here I'm making a call to the server, right? My first website get cat news stream. The folder structure should be this one. It has to be mandatorily /server/ the exact folder name / a function name, right? And then there is a connection being made to the cat API, and then the response comes back here to the news_stream ID in the client, which you would find here, news_ID. What is the name actually? News_. Sorry, this is so very confusing here. Yes, so I go to this one again. Sorry, news_stream. Right, sorry, not ID. _stream. Right. So this is the ID. This is where the images of the cats get displayed. Alright, the same logic applies for the remaining two as well. I have made an ID space where I showcase the response back from the server. Alright, so in this particular case, it is news_stream, and I think in the weather case, it's going to be weather_detail. Let us see the code here. Apologies. Weather_detail, and then it is going to be the news details for the news stream, right? Or sorry, news_stream for the news stream. So now let's look at the server-side code. So this is where I instantiate the various packages I need in order to get my server-side code working. I have used Express, body parser, not really required, but I absolutely used it. Request, obviously the Express app, the news API, then get in your own API keys, guys, but this is just an example. And then your cat API keys, I have used Express.json. And let us start with the cat one, right? Because it's the most friendly one, I would say. This is where the call comes in. So here, when we make a call from the client, so the client calls on body load get cat news_stream. So the call comes here. I show you a Jiffy image so that the page is loading, and then I make an AJAX call to the server. I call this method get cat news_stream method, which is here, and in this I make a connection to the cat API using the cat API key. I make a request to the cat API service provider, the catapi.com, and then I get some images 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 images is what I get, and then I form an image tag and I send the data back to the server. Keep in mind that if you do not do a send rest.send in an app.get or an app.post, as you would see in some other cases, the server will always hang, and you will be left figuring out why is it that you're getting a max time exceeded exception. Alright, so this is the code. Now we will check it once again for all corrections, and then we'll give it a shot. So what we need to be clear or rather careful is we have to install all the packages that we have mentioned in the server class. For example, in index.js, we have mentioned these, right? So we need to install all these API packages here. For example, so here I need to go to the Applogic first website folder, and then I need to install Express body -parser request, and in this particular API example, I also need to install the news API, right? I install this. So once all these packages get installed, I now need to deploy it, right? So we have done all our coding. So this is the server side. Let's reiterate again. Applogic is the server side, right? And then the client side is just the client folder. And the client folder consists of the CSS, images, index, JS files, right? So we have copied the files from the earlier, from the code base and GitHub, that is, and then we have made changes to the server side. We have now installed the packages as seen here, and now we need to deploy it. So that is the most important step. Now we are in this particular folder, so Catalyst deploy. Keep in mind you have to do it only from this folder, right? This is the root folder, which is the serverless website folder, and this comprises of the Applogic, the client, and the JSON file. Remember, you must do it from this level only, right? And I will deploy. Let us see if all goes well, fingers crossed, it is going to get deployed, and then we will have our website URL as well, because Catalyst will give us a default URL automatically. So it typically takes around 30 seconds to deploy. We are trying to make it even faster, but it will take some time. So that's how we go. And this is the website, and just hope everything is working just fine. Yes, I think it's working fine. It is fetching the cat images now, and should come. Oh, there they are. See, a cold start, that's why. And now let us take this one. Let us say for New York 42.8, that's nice. And click on this. There you go. And this is your serverless website. Do you know, if I refresh this, remember this cat here? One is mewing, one is sleeping, one is next to the Mountain Dew bottle, and one is holding someone's hands. Let us see what happens when I refresh. All those images will change, because every time you do a refresh, and note this, that it took much lesser time to get it, right? So every time I refresh, a new set of images come up and get displayed here, right? That's it. Oh, that's a mischievous one. So hope you like this. Hope you're able to get an idea as to how you can get a serverless website up using Catalyst. We'll be much happy to hear from you. So do contact us at our support at zohocatalyst.com, and we will be happy to help you. And as I said, the code base is available here. So make a note of this, and you can pull from here. Make sure you do not forget to make the changes in the server folder location in the main.js file, right? This has to be your folder name path. That is where the most mistakes happen. And another area where you have to be very careful is in your index.js. I have a lot of time spent, a lot of hours trying to debug it. The mistake was that I had never done a send back. A res.send is very important in app.post or an app.get. If you do not close the path, you will get a max time exceeded exception, and your program will just halt. When you develop the site, you need to get the logs, right? So you need to check whether exceptions are coming or not, and how do you see them. So this is where you do. Go to Catalyst, go inside your particular project. So that is like this, and you go to here, and then you go to logs, and you do this part. Function, very important, and then you select this. All right. Let us know how you felt this, how you like this class. I would love to see the websites that you have made, and you could send us those websites links that you have made to support at zohocatalyst.com. Thank you.